So now we've got no leaks and we're nice and tidy. We're going to bring the toilet in and get that set up. It's currently in a few different pieces. So we're going to start off with the bowl because it's just easier to carry. Just to make sure that the pipe and all the fittings and everything, the holes and all that stuff all line up. And once we're happy, we'll carry on putting it together. So this is the fitting that attaches to the back of the toilet there. Got a rubber fitting that goes to the toilet, and this rubber one that sort of sits in here like so. And obviously this goes down inside that, like that. So what we'll do is we'll bring the toilet over, get it in position, and then we'll see where we're at with height. So that's about how far down it goes. So we can fit this first. It's got 1, 2, 3 seals just to make sure you don't get anything coming back up. And that just pops on the back. So on this toilet, rather than having the bolts going through the side, it's got these funky L shapes and these sort of side fittings. You can kind of see they line up with this hole here, but obviously on the inside, we've got these funky sort of L brackets, which basically have got a space to be screwed to the floor. And then they sort of line up, and then these bolts sort of come through the side here and sort of screw in like that. You can see the other side's pretty much ready to go. There's a few caps as well, obviously, to make it sort of look nice once it's all finished up, like so. But it's a bit of a bizarre system, I must say. Thankfully with this, you've got sort of 3 holes, so even if you're not perfectly aligned, you've got a chance to move it around a little bit. Anyway, we're going to try and fit it up and see if we can't mark the floor where these holes need to be drilled, because the pre-existing holes from the old toilet probably aren't going to be in the right place. Just before I start marking anything out, there's quite a gap from the wall, possibly because the waste pipe itself wasn't installed in the right position originally. Now we're just going to put the top on and see what we're looking at. So we've got 3 fingers worth of gap there. But there's not really much we can do about it, to be honest, because the closer we push it to the wall, the more it pushes on the pipe, and the waste pipe, and gets it out of position. So I think we're just going to have to live with it. So with that said, now we can get these in position, we get the floor marked, and we get the holes drilled. We'll just use this screw as a guide. Aim for the centre, which is there. So I can mark that now. Okay, I'll move this out of the way now. So you can see there's a hole there to drill, another one there to drill. The waste pipe goes straight down, so we're not going to perforate it. So we're going to start off small and work our way up. Plugs are 8mm, so that's what we're aiming for. Okay, we'll just leave it with the slightest of movement, just so it's easy to nip up, but also gives us the flexibility as we're installing the toilet to get this where we want it. Now all the dust is done, was over, I reckon we can remove this. Put down there to stop stuff going down it. And one thing I will do is just give this a bit of a quick scrub before we put the toilet in place. Okay, cool. one. You can see how it pulls it over. Okay, just pop the cover on. Right, so before we go any further, I just want to check the seals, make sure they're all good. So I've just got a bucket of water that I'm just going to chuck down here. And we'll just check for leaks. Oh, dry as a bone, so we can get on with building up the rest now. So we've got this funky washer that sort of encases all of this gubbins. What's that? We've got these bad boys, which come from inside and through the toilet, then just screw in place. All that said, doesn't look right to me, that. I'm gonna have to have a think. The instructions are rubbish. Okay, pretty good. So in the end, these sort of self-locking, which is good. You don't have to get anything on the back side. You just have to screw it in as tight as you can get, just to get the rubber seal nipped up. Okay, excellent. So now we've got the filler. This here, the pipe that comes off the valve, just screws on the bottom, and this just locates down inside the toilet. And then this all goes on the back end. Okay, sound. So the pipe has to flow actually around the back and then over to this side. So it should be fine in the down position. Originally I imagined it would enter up the top here, but that's not the case. So we just need to make sure we get a flexi hose that's long enough. So before we fit the flexi pipe, we're just going to chuck a little bit of water in just by hand, just a small amount, just to cover all the rubber seals and just to make sure that there's no leaks. So that's just enough to cover the rubber seals at the bottom there, and then the rubber seal here. We'll just check on the underside now, see if we've got any leaks. So I'm just with my hand feeling for any dampness. Nope, nope, nope. Nothing on the floor, so that looks pretty good. We can test the flush to see if there's any leaks come out of here. No, we're good. Just check behind again. Yeah, perfect, no leaks, feels dry. So we can wrap this up by fitting the flexi pipe. Pass that at the back. All right, let's get this connected at the back now. Okay, excellent, that's that done now. So we can turn the water on. You can see the water flowing out of the bottom here. This here is a float. So as we approach the level, that float should rise and cut the water off. That's an overflow pipe, so if the water level gets too high, it'll flow into there, and rather than it flooding out, it'll just run down into the toilet bowl. And then you've got sort of full flush and half flush. There we go. And then the float's up now, and that's it stopped. Just short of the pipe there, so that should be fine. That's the flushing action. Okay, excellent. So blue is a half flush, white is a full flush. Now we can now get this top installed and the seat. So this is the top there. It doesn't actually come with any screws or anything, it just sits on the top of the cistern with a hole there for the flusher. This just pops in there and then just screws in from the back to keep it in place. You just got to make sure those things will line up with the pushers, which for us is like this. Get it tight. Try and get it straight as you can. There we go. So those two there line up with the blue and the white. You just sort of just plop it down like so. That's it, all lined up. And that's that for now. So the toilet seat has got these little brackets which just slide down in those holes like that, and then just a Phillips head screw, and you just screw it in. It's like a roll plug for the wall. It should just expand and lock in place. The toilet seat itself, it's got a bracket that slides off. It obviously sort of sits like that essentially. Try and get it centered more or less. And then the seat should just line up and slide on. That's it, locks in place. The toilet seat is one of those ones which has got like a brake in it, or suspension, or whatever you want to call it. So rather than slamming shut, it just goes down nice and slow. Oh my lord. So now you can check to see if you're happy with the position of the seat. I think it needs to go back a little tiny bit, and possibly over to this side as well. Yeah, but you see, there's always a bit of movement, so we'll just push it back to where we want it. And let's just pop back off again, like so. And then basically we can just finish clamping these down, stop it moving. Hear that click? Yeah, that's much better now. Okay, so we're just about done. The last few things we've got to do to get this wrapped up is we're going to cement in these tiles, or fix these tiles in place, and then run a bead of silicone just to stop water going down the back of the unit. With the tiles in place now, we can get a gauge for where we want the mirror to go, and also where we need the light to go. And those are basically, those three things are pretty much the last few steps to get this all done and dusted. So we're going to start off by getting the mirror in position. So I want the mirror where I can obviously see my head. I don't want it too high, too low, and I've cut my face off. So I'm going to fit it about there. I'm going to leave it basically where it's high enough to cover that nasty hole. The cables are long enough to feed into any light, which is cool. And then it's going to leave a decent enough gap here to avoid any splashback. So based on that, I'm just going to mark where we think the bottom needs to go. Okay, the mirror is 50 wide. These are where we're going to hang it from, and they are 11 in. Yeah, 11 in. And the whole thing is 70. Well, 50 by 70, and then in from the side 11. It is 64 and a half to where the screw needs to go. The unit is also 50, same as the mirror, which is pretty good. So we're just going to mark 25. We can bring this up to where we want it to be, which is there. So that's the middle, and that's the bottom of the mirror, essentially. You need to come from centre over 14, which is there, and also there. So that's where the brackets are going to be. And from the bottom to where the hole needs to be is 64.5 centimetres. So we're going to basically carry this line up. Put my level here as well, make sure everything's cool. Okay, that's level. And that's plumb. Pick that the other way. Okay, nice. Okay. So that is our drill hole, and that is our drill hole as well. This is a 6mm masonry bit, so we're going to use 6mm plugs. We've got these little L-shaped screws here, which should help to hold the mirror without being too much of a drama. We'll go as close as we dare. We can always back it out if we have to. Okay, looks good. Now we can do the light. So this is the light we're going for, just a spotlight. It's going to sit somewhere like that, close to the mirror as we can really, just so we don't have these nasty cables in the way. And on the back it's got this bracket, which basically fits to the wall like that. So we need to get some measurements taken. I'm just going to use a little bit of tape just to mark the centre of the mirror, just to make life easy, which is 25. That's 24, so 12 is the centre of this. So just mark that at 12. We should sit pretty much, ditch those for now. We should sit there in line with the centre of the mirror. I'll just mark the end like that, and mark the end like that. So the hole, which is where this grey button locates, is 3.5. Just check that's level. Yeah, close enough. So now we can align this up, line the grey things up with the mark, the button with the mark there. Same on the other side. And then we can mark out the holes for drilling. We've gone for 5mm plugs. Okay, looks good. Nice and tight in here, which is cool. So nice. Let's get these wires fitted. Right, the big test. Nice. Looks good. Happy with that. Right, cool. We finished all the drilling and all the dust and all the mess. So we're going to clean this away and get these tiles fixed. We're just going to mix up some tile cement. It needs to be claggy like that so it doesn't fall. Right, that's all clean. So we're ready to go. Got a few little tile spaces we'll lay down. Still got my centre line there. The unit's 50, the tiles are 15. There's going to be a bit of an overlay. I could cut them, but then I get a really ugly cut on the end. I'd rather they just stuck over a little bit. Just bosh a bit of this on the back. In for that centre line. Go. I'll just squidge it in there. Just double check it with a level. The tiles themselves are a bit uneven. That's good enough. Okay, cool. Got even gaps, which is cool. Nice. Everything looks level. Just leaving a bit of space there just to get the grout in. Okay, cool. Once that's gone off, we can get it grouted. This is plenty of time to go off now. So we can remove these little tile spaces and then we can get to grouting. Just mixed up a little bit of grout. I'm just going to wash it in there. Just tap it with a sponge. We'll wait a little bit, maybe an hour or so, maybe 2, until it's all gone off. Then we can run some masking tape along here and then get this siliconed up to stop the water going down behind the unit and rotting it. Masking tape, silicone gun, wet wipes, and then thinners. Right, so with that done, all I've got to do is finish off the paint. So let's get cracking. Right then folks, there we have it, all finished. Pretty pleased with how everything's worked out. It's all looking very nice. It's nice and white, all painted up. Everything's working fine. It's nice, a nice, pleasant place to be now. So just to summarise, what we've done basically is we've installed the sliding door and all the framing, the unit, the taps, the tiles, the mirrors, the lights, the new toilet, the valve behind me, and we've had a nice paint as well, and everything looking glorious. So yeah, all that's left to do now really is have a shower and test it out. But I'm going to do that off camera. See you next time.